On Thanksgiving, my parents handed me a $2 lottery ticket, while my sister opened a luxury cruise package worth thousands. Everyone laughed, until my ticket changed everything. Thanksgiving had always been my least favorite holiday, not because of the food, not because of the traditions, but because of how obvious the favoritism was. My younger sister, Emily, had always been the golden child. Straight A's, perfect smile, engaged to a wealthy fiancé. My parents adored her. Me? I was just there. I showed up every year, helped in the kitchen, smiled when expected. But no matter what I did, it never felt like enough. That evening, the house was filled with laughter. My mom kept praising Emily's engagement, showing off her ring to every guest like it was some kind of trophy. "Look how beautiful it is," she said for the 10th time. Her fiancé really knows her worth. I forced a smile and took a sip of water, pretending it didn't sting. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for, gift time. My dad stood up, holding 2 envelopes. "One for each of my daughters," he said with a proud grin. Emily went first. She opened hers slowly and gasped. "Oh, my God, a cruise!" she screamed, jumping up. "A luxury cruise package?" The room erupted in applause. My mom hugged her tightly. "You deserve it, sweetheart," she said. I clapped along with everyone else, trying to ignore the tight feeling in my chest. Then my dad handed me my envelope. It felt light, too light. I opened it carefully. Inside was a single lottery ticket for $2. For a moment, I thought it was a joke. But when I looked up, they were smiling like this was completely normal. "It's just for fun," my dad said casually. "You never know, right?" A few people chuckled. I forced a laugh, even though my face felt hot with embarrassment. "Yeah, you never know," I said quietly. Dinner continued like nothing had happened. Emily kept talking about the cruise, what she'd wear, where she'd go, all the photos she'd take. No one asked me about my gift. Later that night, I stood alone in the kitchen, staring at the small ticket in my hand. $2. That's what they thought I was worth. I sighed and was about to toss it into my bag when something made me pause. "Check it," a voice in my head whispered. I pulled out my phone, and that's when everything changed. My hands were shaking as I opened the lottery app. It felt ridiculous. I mean, what were the chances? It was just a $2 ticket. A joke, basically. A last-minute, thoughtless gift. Still, something inside me wouldn't let it go. I carefully typed in the numbers. One by one, the first number matched. I blinked. "Okay, coincidence," I whispered. Second number, match. My heart started beating faster. Third number, match. Now I was fully frozen, staring at the screen like it might suddenly change. This isn't real," I muttered. Fourth number, match. I felt my chest tighten. Fifth number, match. My breathing stopped completely. "No way," I said under my breath. There was only one number left. Just one. I didn't want to press it, because if it didn't match, all of this hope would disappear instantly. But if it did, I swallowed hard and tapped the screen. The final number appeared. Match. For a second, everything went silent. No sound, no thoughts, nothing. Then suddenly, winner. The word flashed across the screen, followed by a number so big my brain couldn't process it. $100 million. I dropped my phone onto the counter. My legs gave out, and I grabbed the edge to steady myself. This has to be fake," I whispered. My hands trembled as I picked the phone back up, checking again. And again. Same numbers. Same result. $100 million. Tears started forming in my eyes, but I couldn't even tell if I was happy or just in shock. The girl who got the $2 joke gift just became a millionaire. I let out a shaky laugh, covering my mouth. "Are you okay?" a voice suddenly said behind me. I jumped. It was Emily, of course. She walked in, still glowing with excitement, her phone in hand. "I was looking for you," she said. "Everyone's asking where you went." I quickly locked my phone and forced a smile. "Yeah, I just needed some air." She leaned against the counter, smirking slightly. "Hey, about the gift," she said. "Don't take it personally. You know how Mom and Dad are." I stayed quiet. "They just expect more from you," she continued. "You never really gave them a reason to go all out." Her words stung, but this time something felt different. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one at the bottom. I looked at her, really looked at her, at the expensive ring on her finger, at the confidence in her smile, at the life she thought she had secured. And for once, I wasn't jealous. I almost felt sorry, because she had no idea. "Oh, I'm not upset," I said calmly. She raised an eyebrow. "Really?" I nodded. "Yeah," I said. "Actually, I think it's the best gift I've ever gotten." She laughed. "A $2 lottery ticket." I smiled slightly. "Yeah," I said. "Something like that." She shook her head, clearly amused, and walked away. "Whatever helps you sleep at night," she called out. I waited until she was gone. Then I looked back at my phone. $100 million. My life had changed in a single moment, and no one in that house had any idea. Not my parents, not my sister, not a single person sitting at that dinner table. I slowly slipped the ticket into my pocket, my mind racing. Should I tell them? Should I keep it secret? Should I just walk away and never look back? I glanced toward the dining room, where laughter echoed. The same people who treated me like I didn't matter were now sitting just a few feet away from someone whose life had completely transformed. I took a deep breath. "No," I whispered to myself. "I'm not telling them. Not yet. Because for once, I wanted to see what they would do if they knew the truth." And the plan that started forming in my mind was something none of them were ready for. I didn't tell anyone that night, or the next day, or even the week after. Instead, I watched. For the first time in my life, I saw everything clearly. The way my parents still called Emily every morning, but barely texted me. The way they proudly told everyone about her cruise, while joking about my lucky little ticket. The way I had always been treated, like I was less. But now I knew something they didn't. I quietly claimed the prize, met with a lawyer, secured everything, stayed invisible, and then I made my move. A month later, I invited my entire family to dinner. My parents were confused. Emily was curious. "Wow," she said, looking around the elegant restaurant. "Didn't know you could afford a place like this." I just smiled. Dinner went on like usual, small talk, subtle jabs, comparisons, until my dad finally asked, "So, what's the occasion?" I took a slow sip of water. Then I placed something on the table. "The lottery ticket. I think it's time I told you something," I said calmly. They all leaned in. My mom chuckled. "What, did you win a few $100s?" I looked her straight in the eyes. "I won," I said. A pause. "How much?" Emily asked, smirking. I didn't answer. Instead, I pulled out my phone and turned the screen toward them. $100 million. The table went completely silent. Emily's smile vanished. My dad leaned forward, squinting. This isn't funny." "It's not a joke," I said. My mom's face turned pale. "You're serious?" she whispered. I nodded. And in that moment, everything shifted. The same people who once laughed at me were now staring at me like they didn't even recognize who I was. Emily swallowed hard, and for the first time in her life, she had nothing to say.